Welcome everybody to our Amud Yomi Shiur. It's almost Sukkot. You can see this chach on top of my head. And basically, we are starting today the last parak of Bava Metzia. Aren't you excited? Last parak of Bava Metzia is a bais ve'aliyah. It's not a long parak, and the beginning of the parak discusses halachos of neighbors, people who live in the same building. Yeah, these halachos are very relevant in every generation, of course. And before we begin, I'd like to mention again that the Shiur is Le'ilu Nishmas, my father, Menachem ben Akiva, and to revise something we said yesterday. It's very tempting to just start afresh, but we do have to just give a little bit of a extra touch to what we have ended off with yesterday, the end of the previous parak. Yesterday, we were talking about a situation, and if you want, you can turn the page. There's Machlokes Abai and Rove, right, regarding what happens if the person took a collateral, an item. There was a case, a person took a collateral, an item which was scissors. Yes, scissors, or it was a knife, to be exact. It was the knife, either the knife of a shoichet or a butcher, or a knife of a cobbler. So basically, the question was, first of all, there's an issue because it's something of Chaim. You're not supposed to take this as collateral, right? And secondly, there was another sugya regarding migo, which means the first question was, Abaye said that once you took that item, you have to give it back ASAP. You have to give it back to the borrower. And now you, the lender, will have to go through the regular means of a Metzia of a raya. You think he owes you money. You can't just hold on to whatever you feel like. You have to give back that forbidden item for you. And now you have the regular course of prove that the money is yours. If you admit, you admit. If you have Eidim, prove it. You have a star maybe, prove, very nice. Masha'en Ken, that was Abaye. Rava said, no, why? If he's muchzak in the mashkon, as bad as he was by taking it, but at the end of the day, now when he's holding the mashkon, we turn the tables. And the person who's the borrower, he should prove himself right. And if I hold this as a mashkon and believed with amigo, because I could have said the item is mine because I bought it. I bought the item. If I bought the item, who's b'chalal talking to you, right? Kedei dmein, if it's the same amount of money that was, if the item, let's say, is worth 800 and the milva is 800, those 800 I can claim and say, give them to me, because I could have said that the item was bought by me. Abai didn't go for that, because Abai said, no, there's no migo, because people tend to lend this item. In other words, you can't just say, believe me that this is a collateral and you owe me the money, give me the cash of the loan, because otherwise the only other option is that I bought it from you, and I could have safely said that. Not true. No, it's not something that you can say you necessarily bought, because then the other person, which you're trying to get the money from, would say, no, you borrowed it from me. Rava said no. Rava said, I agree with everything. At the end of the day, the Machlokes of Rava was very, very specific. I agree with everything Abai says, except for I think that these items, like the knife, is something so delicate, people don't tend to lend it. Because people don't tend to lend it, then again, the option of lending is now crossed off. It's disqualified, and the only other options are either he bought it from him, or he collateralized it. Now he has amigo in his belief. That's just a summary of yesterday, and I'd like to start with today. If you have questions, then okay, but go ahead. Yes.
After 30-day lending period, and the money hasn't been given back.
Yes. At the beginning, everything is allowed. Yes, we're talking here that he refuses to pay by payday. That's all it is. Yeah, good point. Very nice, lovely. Says the holy Mishnah, says the holy Mishnah. Yeah. Okay, excuse me. Yeah. Okay, says the Mishnah. Abayis v'aliyah shel shnaim. There was what we'd call today a building, a duplex. It's a house, a two-story building. There's upper floor and lower floor. Who lives in the building, in that two-story building? Two people, two brothers, meaning they inherited it from their father. One of them lives on the bottom floor, and the other one on the top floor. Okay, Abayis v'aliyah shel shnaim shenoflu. The bayis and the aliyah, the bottom floor and the aliyah, the top floor of two people, two brothers who were partners, and now each one lives in a different place, and the house fell. The house fell down, the house collapsed, the house either imploded or exploded, whatever happened, the house fell down, and now they want to share, or I would say they want to split the debris. They want to split the avonim, the stones. How do they split it? Shneim choilkin, they both split be'etzim, u'ba'avonim, u'be'ofo. They split the pieces of wood, stones, and offal, and the dust, meaning the cement, the building material. The main issue from here till the end of the shiur will be that some of the stones are assumed to be, let's say the situation is, some of the stones remain intact, they're full, intact, and good to be reused. They obviously want to rebuild. And some of the stones are broken, and obviously everybody wants the whole stones and not the broken ones. So how do you do that? The ratio says you just split it proportionally. Yeah, let's say the bottom floor was 2/3 and the upper floor was 1/3. When it all fell apart and you don't know what came from who, let's say it's all homogenic, all looks the same, right? And then we say, Mr. Lower guy, let's say, will take 2/3. The upper guy will take 1/3, just, arbitrarily by numbers, yeah, by percentage. That's what the Mishnah at the beginning seems to be saying. Yeah, so you take proportionally, 2/3 of everything broken and non-broken, everything together would go to the bottom one. Or let's say it's half-half, easier, 50-50. The bottom one would take 50% of everything, both broken and whole, and the bottom and the top one as well. Now, all of a sudden comes the Mishnah with a second statement, which seems to be confusing. The second part of the Mishnah says something different. You have to discern, you have to look and see which stones were likely to be broken. What does it mean? Rashi tells us what the Gemara says. There are two ways, maybe there are more ways. There are two ways of a building can collapse. When I was reading the Gemara, I was thinking of two famous towers. One of them, the Twin Towers, Zichronim Livrocha. The other one is the Pisa Tower. Imagine if Pisa Tower would continue its trajectory. In other words, some buildings, they fall because there's an airplane or something, I don't know what, that hits the bottom floor. There it wasn't exactly the bottom, it was the middle, yeah? Let's say the bottom floor, something hits the bottom floor, and the bottom floor becomes unstable, and we all know that somehow, it's known, yeah? And because the bottom is broken, it's just not there. Obviously, the top falls apart, right? People managed to jump from the top, not that they survived, yeah? But people survived a little bit longer chronologically in the top floors than the middle ones, right? I mean, they survived not very long, but yeah, the bottom floor is the problem, and the top floor follows through, and the whole thing collapses just, a site, where it is, it falls, like implodes in the same place. Now, the other type of fall, says Rashi, is like a stick, meaning it's like a stick that falls like that. In other words, it collapses this way. Something pushes it, that the building falls like to the side, yeah, like my arm, and then, so that's the other way. That's like the Pisa Tower, had it continued a little bit too much. What's the difference? The difference is like this. You wake up in the morning and you see, they come back from holiday, let's say they were not there, they're alive, yeah, and they see the whole thing is broken. Now, let's say they can tell by one way or the other, as the Gemara is going to discuss, that it was like an implosion and the whole thing just fell apart. And we see some stones are full and intact. How did it happen? Maybe the building wasn't so tall. Some stones survived. That's reality. Some bricks survived, okay? Now, the surviving bricks, in the case of the building falling apart on site, on itself, because the bottom floor is broken, obviously, the whole ones are on the top floor, right? Proportionally, some are more. Yeah, because the bottom one, that's where the explosion happened. That's what broke. How did the top one survive? It did. It wasn't so tall. The bricks were sturdy enough. Yeah, okay, that's shaykh. Then the top one belongs to the whole ones belong to the top. But if it fell like a stick falling down, collapsing like that sidewise, then obviously gravity is much worse for the top ones. The top ones fell from a high point, while the bottom ones, yeah, had much less of a fall, and therefore the full ones, even regardless of the location, even if it's all messed up, I can still tell and make sense that the bottom one would get the full ones. So that's not like the Resha. The Resha was saying we don't look at what happened, we just give it a general proportional, measurement, and we say, yeah, the one that owns 2/3 of the building will get 2/3 of everything. The one who owns a third will get a third. The middle of the Mishnah all of a sudden is singing a different song. The middle of the Mishnah is telling me what? That the stones, that depends what happened. Yeah, depends on the style of falling. According to that, we'll decide which one has the bottom, which one has the full ones, which one has the the broken ones, and the Gemara will discuss that contradiction, to be discussed. Continues the Mishnah to the third case. Let's say one of them says with most utmost certainty, I recognize these whole stones, these intact ones, some of them are mine for sure. I know this red and blue and green bricks over there, they're from my bathroom, whatever. I know them, I recognize them. Then Noitlon, he takes them to himself because of his certainty. And then when they split all the rest, the other person would take something else instead of that. What is this something else? That's going to be discussed in the Gemara. The third statement is a waste of time to explain now. The Gemara will explain it very well. Abai, Rova, I think it's time for the Gemara now. Yeah, everything. It's one of those Mishnahs where really every part is explained very clearly by the Gemara. The Gemara begins as follows. Midektani roin. If it says in the middle of the Mishnah, one should inspect. The police, not the police, whoever. People should come and see and check and gauge. Yeah, we have here a professional person. Midektani roin. You have to view and survey what's going on. Michlal, that is to say, the ikal meikam alayu. The middle case, sounds like, 1 second, I'm sure this page you're going to have a lot to say, 1 second. The ikal meikam alayu, you can gauge, you can assess and see, listen to the wording, ibechavosa nofil, ibechavoto nofil, which means, chavosa with the samech, it's a word in Aramaic, means when everything like implodes on sight. It didn't fall like a stick, the bottom fell apart, the bottom was unstable, and therefore the top followed through and the whole thing fell on sight. That's chavos anofil. And then, I don't know about the numbers, but generally speaking, for sure, more broken ones are from the bottom because that's what's broke. And the surviving stones are probably from the top. Ibechavoto nofil. And as we said, if it fell bechavata, lechbot, like in Bava we had chavoto. Chavoto is like a fall, like a bang. Like boom, like a thud, boom, falling up like that, then the broken ones are from the top, where gravity hit it harder, right? So they're good. If that's the case, Reisha, as I told you, why in the first case of the Mishnah, am I cholkin? Why do they just split it like that, just potluck, half of this and half of that for each? Why? Nechzi, let's have a look and see. Why do you just split it like that, such an arbitrary way? Why? Look and see, just like in the Metzia. Why doesn't it work in the Reisha? And the Gemara elaborates. What I told you now, the Gemara is now going to say, speak it out. If it fell like, falling to the side like a stick, like that, then aliyosa itbu must be the top one or more of the top floor. Let's say it's half, whatever. More of the top one obviously is broken. That's where, it fell from a higher place. And if it fell from the bottom, meaning if it started in the bottom and the whole thing fell on top of itself, the tayato itvur, then the bottom one broke. In other words, you have such nice logic in the middle of the Mishnah, why don't you use it to the top of the Mishnah, right? To the first part of the Mishnah, and why over there we say, no, we just work by numbers, 50-50 or thirds and two-thirds, and that's about it. Why? Why don't you come and investigate and see what really happened? Just if it works for the Metzia, why not at the top, excuse the pun, the top of the Mishnah? Why not in the first part of the Mishnah, the Reisha? Answers the Gemara, loy, tzricha. There is a case in the Mishnah, the nofil belelia. It fell at night. Nobody saw. They were away in the Chasana, I don't know where they were. It fell by night, and nobody saw the fall. Says the Gemara, nobody saw, so nobody knows how it fell. In fact, the Gemara, excuse me, what are we in Norway, where it's a night for 3 months? What do you mean? See in the morning. In the morning, come, see how the building fell, this way or that way, and then you can gauge, like in the Metzia. Check it in the morning, Answers the Gemara, another ukimta, that could be a good solution, true. However, our Mishnah discusses a case, the paninu, what's lefanot? They evacuated it. The building, all the debris, all the garbage was taken away to the corner. And therefore we don't see the shape of the fall. We don't see the traces. We don't see the site of the fall. Somebody very diligent in the morning, early in the morning, came somebody from the city hall, soon as elections, they get very, very, diligent. And early in the morning, they cleared the way. The stones are there to be taken by the owners, but they were physically taken to a side place yeah, where you can't see the original site, the original shape of the fall. Yeah. Frag the Gemara, "Velech ziman paninu velishayla." The Gemara insists. The Gemara persists. So look at. You should interview, see who are the people who evacuated it, and ask them. Right. Ask the person who cleared it. How was the fall? Ask the people, maybe to aid him. Yeah. Answers the Gemara. That could be good. However, our Mishnah talks about the paninu bnei reshus harabim, people from the street. It wasn't a relative or somebody, one specific person that you know, the gardener, the cleaner. The one who cleared it was not one person. It was people from the street. You know, some nice volunteers. People felt it's too messy. The public, people, whoever people are. Yeah. And what? The Azlu Alma, and they went away. Some mysterious people went. They just cleared it away, right? And where are they now? I don't know. Yeah, little dwarfs came, little elves came, and the kids, the people came, cleared it away. We don't know where they are. The kids, we are in a situation now where the whole thing is messed up, and we don't even know how the shape of the mess was. Yeah, in other words, it was cleared away by the authorities, by someone. You don't know. You call the area, they don't tell you how the shape was. They don't. Nobody knows. And therefore, in such a situation where you don't know how the shape of the fall was, and therefore there's no indicator about which one has the full ones, which one has the broken ones. Therefore, in such a case, what do we say? Split it half-half or thirds and two-thirds in proportion to the size of the original building. Frag the Gemara now, more lomdish question. Up until now, with questions in Metzias, in reality. Now the Gemara is going to start getting lomdish here, or halachic. Frag the Gemara, "Velichzi bilshus deman yatvon, velevi idach amoitz mechaver lo varaya." Wait a second. Assuming that they were cleared, let's say, imagine this building, this two-story house, not a big building, and it's standing in the middle of a courtyard, a yard, back, front, a yard around it. So now you should really see which one of the two. Let's say Reuben owns half a yard and Shimon half yard. Let's say Reuben owns the front and Shimon the back. Let's say the people who cleared it to Reuben's part. And all the stones are in Reuben's part. They wanted to concentrate them to Reuven's part. Then why can't we apply the regular rule of let's say all the stones are by Reuven, right? And then Shimon says the whole stones are mine. No, they are right now in my possession. So prove that they're yours, and then I'll give them to you. Why don't we apply that? And says the Gemara, lo itzricha. No, that's not the case. We don't need to say that. The yatvan b'chotzer the tavayu. We're talking in the reality here where the stones are sit more or less equally, or the coveted stones, the desired stones are in a chotzer that belongs to both of them, meaning could be that the entire chotzer all around the building belongs to both of them, common ground. Who owns your cheder madrigot? Everyone, as far as I know. I don't know all the rules, Who owns the chanaya? Everyone. Some people think they're the only owners of the chanaya, but that's not true. Who owns? Everyone owns together. So there's no chazaka. We're in it together. It's not like my territory versus yours. Inami, alternative answer, b'reshus harabim. As we said, people from the street cleared it. They cleared it to some corner in reshus harabim, no man's land, meaning the public street. It's not Reuven's nor Shimon, so there's no what's in Chaveroi. The boy Seima, here comes the punchline, here comes the chidish, here comes the halachic chidish. Up until now is a kimta, now is a chidish. The boy Seima, Shutfin adodi. Shutfin usually are not particular with each other. In the good old days, before they started fighting about the stones, these were two. By the way, Rashi says we're talking here about brothers. They inherited the house together, right? He took the bottom, he took the top. Okay, I actually know two brothers, and they live in a house of the family. One of them lives in the bottom, one lives in the top. Very good friends of mine, and I hope their house never falls apart. But I know these people, so that's a reality. Now, they're very good friends, right? And they're not makpid on each other. They're not particular. If one of them places his stuff, his car, his arbas minim, his whatever you want, his clothes, his stuff, in his friend's area, even though they do have their own designated areas, it's not completely one common ground, like we spoke about in the first answer. This answer says there are two chatzeros. However, they were never makpid, they're never particular. If one brother puts his possessions in the other brother's area, the other brother doesn't mind, doesn't care, not makpid, he's not, meticulous about it. And therefore what? There's no motzim chaveroi, right? What's motzim chaver logic? Motzim chaver logic means that if it fell by me, it's probably mine. But that's not true over here. Because if it fell, right, if it's mine, if this is in my possession, it's probably mine. I'm not a thief. So if this phone comes with me every day to Koilel, it's my phone, right? We assume it's mine. But let's say I give this phone, it's mine, but I'm such a generous guy, I let everyone use it all the time for hours. Yeah. So then there's no chzokus, right? I can't say because it's mine, prove that it's yours. No, because it's as if the chotzer belongs to both of them. Because the tashmish, the usage of placing the items in his friend's place is so common, so rampant, it's as if it belongs to both of them. Belongs to one, but he's so generous and so allows his friend to use it all the time. Therefore, the no muchzokus. It's not my chotzer versus yours, because I allowed you all my life to use my chetzer as if it was yours. So we can summarize very easily. So up until now, before I ask your questions, the first part of the Mishnah talks about either one of the cases. In other words, we're talking here about a case that we don't know how it fell, right? We don't know how it fell because somebody cleared it early in the morning. Nobody knows how it fell. And even if it fell, even if it was cleared or fell into one person's possession, it does not create a chazoko because he always allows his friend to place everything there. So vis-a-vis holding things and keeping things, it's as if it's not his because he's being super generous. He allows his friend to use it as much as he himself does. Yeah. And Mimela, there's no motzim chaveroi. Mashake in the second case of the Mishnah, we know very well what happened. Yeah. It happened by day, by night. People didn't clear it. Like the police, don't touch with your fingerprints. They left the site of the fall. All the newspapers came. Yeah. And everybody knows exactly how it fell. Oh, that case, very good. Why should we go by just numbers and proportion? Why? We can tell logically, by the laws of physics, which stones are the full ones, the intact ones, and which are the broken ones. Depends if it fell this way or it fell to the side. Very good. That's the middle case. The third case is completely different. It's not relevant right now. That will be the next case. Yes, question time. Absolutely. Okay, now comes the third case, which is very interesting. What does the Gemara say? What does Mishnah say at the end? If one person comes and claims assertively, I know that these bricks belong to me, then those bricks belong to him. Frag the Gemara, what do you mean? What does the other party say? What does the other side say? I say that the entire world is mine. Great. What does the other side say? If the other side says yes, I admit, I agree that those, let's say there are 20 bricks, out of 100. Let's say there are 100 full bricks. He says those 20 are for sure mine. If the other side says yes, Reuben says it's mine, and Shimon says yes, dear brother, it's yours. Pshita, we don't need the Mishnah for that. If both sides agree, that's a nice children's story from art school. It's not a Mishnah. If both sides agree, then he gets it. Thank you. The Eloi Omar in. And if he says no, if Reuven says those 20 beautiful bricks, made in Spain with special design are surely mine, and the other guy doesn't say yes, says no, they're mine, yeah, then takes it back to the beginning of the Masechta when two people fight over the same item. Lama noitel. Why should one guy take everything if the other guy says they're not yours, right? What's the story? One guy steps up and says it's mine, so it's yours. Where are we living? Ela. Takes us back to Dafza Design and many other places. Back to the world of Bori Veshema. One guy says, Reuben says, those 20 bricks, remember the numbers, these numbers are used in one of the misfortune that I saw. There are 100 nice whole bricks, 20 of them are an issue of dispute. 20 of them, Reuben says, I don't know, but those 20, let's say red ones, I know that they're mine. And the other side, Shimon says, I don't know, maybe they're mine. That's a classical Bori Veshema. One assertive and one is like, I don't know, one is sure, one is not sure. And we all know the rule, or we think we know, that Bori Veshema, Bori Odif, the one who knows, the fact that he certainly knows that the other guy doesn't know, that gives him a stronger clout, and they belong to him. And that's what the Mishnah is telling me. Frag the Gemara, it's not so simple. Is Bori Veshema, Bori Odif agreed by everyone? No. Frag the Gemara, asks the Gemara, Lema, if that's what Mishnah is telling me, Bori Veshema, Bori Odif, if so, Tevi Kufta de Rav Nachman, Rabbi Isai, Daf Tzadi Zayin, Daf Tzadi Ches, This should be a question. This should be a problem for Rav Nachman. The Itma, which Rav Nachman we're going to see now. We're going to repeat now the concept of Bori V'Shema. It says in the Meimra, Moneli beyodcho. One person says to his friend, "You owe me 100, whatever, zuz shekel $1,000,000." Yeah. V'alo oimer eini yodea. The other one says, "I don't know. Maybe I owe you. Maybe I don't." Yeah. He's a Shema. He's much weaker in his claim. Rav Huna v'Rav Yehuda amri chayiv. Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda say chayiv to pay. He has to pay, meaning, yes, the fact that I know for sure what I'm talking about, and you're so wishy-washy, puts you in a much weaker place, which means even though you have the money in your pocket, the certainty overrides the moitzim chaveroi, overrides the chazaka. That's the name of the game. That's the chidush of Bori V'Shema. So Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda are very happy, right? Our Mishnah supports them. One guy is a Bori, he's a sure guy. The other one is a maybe. Sure wins over certainty, wins over uncertainty. Very nice. But here comes the big question. Rav Nachman v'Rabbi Yochanan amri potu. Rav Nachman and Rabbi Yochanan say that is potu, meaning the guy that says Eini Yodea is potur from paying. Why is he potur from paying? Because he's still a muchzak. Rashi says over here, as we said before, Rashi says over there, and here too, he has to swear that he doesn't know. Yeah. In other words, if somebody claims something from you and you say, "I don't know, maybe I owed 100," puts you in a very, very bad place. It looks like you're lying, but you feel bad to lie outright. Yeah. And therefore, you have to swear that you don't know. Rashi says that. But once you did, you're off the hook. Why? I'm holding the money. Over here, look, what are we saying? Here we say the one that's certain, the Bori, is better than the Shema. That's against Rav Nachman, right? That's a question because that's a Mishnah, that's an Amar. What's going on here? Toisus asks the question. Allow me to dare you, and I won't read the Toisus inside. I also want to give a small shiur today about Sukkot, but so we don't have much time. But basically, the idea is, for Toisus over here, are the bricks lying in the domain of one guy over the other? No. We established before that no one guy is holding the bricks. If so, what's the problem? The only reason why Rav Nachman says Bori V'Shema, the certain guy, is not the winner, because the other guy has chazaka. Here there's no chazaka, because I thought that the bricks fell into everyone's land or no man's land. So maybe here he too would agree that Bori V'Shema is nothing. The Bori is better than Shema. Bori V'Shema, the Bori is not better because the Shema guy, the maybe guy, has another piece of weapon in his hands that it's in my possession, in my domain. Here it's not in his domain. Answers Tosus, like I told you a million times, but Tosus is saying in a different version, different aspect. Moitzim Chavero and Chazaka is not just a geographical thing. You know, oh, this happens to be in my house, therefore it's mine. No, in this case, we all know, everyone agrees, Reuven, Shimon, the city hall, the Rabbanim, everybody knows that both Reuven and Shimon have something here, right? The question is how much? But they both have a finger in the pie, right? They're not a stranger who came from Australia. All of a sudden, he said, some of it is mine. Right? The question is how much, proportion. That's also called Motzim Chaveroi. It's also called the Chazaka. It's also called the Chazaka. Yeah? Why? Because you say Bori V'Shema, right? L'choira, why should the guy who's a Bori take from me? I'm Muchzak as much as he is. We both have the same question mark. Let's it's 50-50 to make it clear. We both know that I have, a house of, I don't know, the height of, 3 meters high, whatever, and he has 3 meters. Same thing, same everything. Why is he more than me? Just because he's a Bori doesn't mean anything. Very good. That should be that is a Svar of Rav Nachman. We're both equally connected to the thing, you and I, right? I'm Muchzak and you Muchzak in the bricks just as much. It fell into everyone was connected. Historically, everything, we're not everything together, but we both had a share in the story. And therefore, just because you are more assertive than me makes you win the case? No, says Rav Nachman. And the Mishnah says he is. Oi, so Rav Nachman is in trouble. Because the Mishnah says that the guy who's being certain wins over the guy who's uncertain, even though there is muchzokos here, generally, historically, the both people owned half, each one owned half here. So that's bad with Rav Nachman. I rephrased this a little bit. Answers the Gemara, same answer as we said in Daf Tzadik Ches. Gemara of Nachman, Enochinami, you'd be right. If there would be a classical story, remember the numbers. They're arguing 20 bricks, and let's say I own the 20 bricks, I'm Reuven, and Shimon says maybe, then no. Then Reuven and Shimon would still split half-half. However, the reason why here Reuven takes everything is because the story is a bit different. There's another reason here, an additional reason why Mr. Shimon would have to take a shvuah. Hachonami, in our case also, if you don't understand what it means, so does the Gemara. Frag the Gemara, what do you mean by these words, reason for shvuah? What are you talking about? The Gemara is going to answer very, very clearly. Like Rava said, we're going to speak about a different case and compare it over here. You tell me, please, before we continue to Rava, very, very, very basic halacha d'oraisa. If I tell you, my friend Peretz, you owe me 100 shekels, yeah, and you say you owe me 50, what's the halacha? Ma halacha? 50, of course he pays me. And that's the beginning of the Masech. That's all over the Torah. Very, very nice, beautiful. However, that's classic. That's basics. Very good. Very, very, very good. What happens if I tell you you owe me 100 and you say 50 I owe you, 50 I don't know? You're shema over 50. 50 you admit you owe, and 50 you say maybe so, I'm not sure. Yeah. So then what's the halacha, which we've seen before? Let's look at it here. One guy claims to that, not in our case, we're comparing now to another case about halvo. I lent you, or for whichever reason, there's 100 shekel of mine, but in your wallet. 50 I admit, 50 I owe you. The remainder 50 I don't know. Oh, had he said, I know that I don't owe, he'd had to take shvuah. But how can he take shvuah over something that he doesn't know? Sometimes Halochan says, if you don't know, not because you're a shema, but simply because you owe, so to speak, shvuah. What's the mechanism of shvuah or tashlum? Swear that you are exempt, will get you off the hook. But if you don't swear, what you have to pay. And here we skip the stage of swearing, because you can't swear. You can swear that you don't know. And you can't swear regarding the money anything clear, yes or no. And therefore, because of that, you automatically pay. And that, my friends, even Rav Nachman agrees to. Let's rephrase our case, and that everyone will be happy this way. Soon I'm going to use the whiteboard for the next sugya. So far, it's pretty simple. There are, let's say, 100 bricks, full nice bricks. The other are broken, 100 nice ones. 20 of them is a dispute. I am Reuven, and I come to the site the morning after with my, very certain and assertive, and I say, those 20 are mine. And you say, 10 are yours, admit Reuven, says Shimon, and 10 I don't know. 10 maybe yes, maybe no. Oh, so that's a moide b'miktzas in the worst form, in its worst version. It's moide b'miktzas that cannot take shvuah. What do you nishba about? Shvuah is either yes or no. The shvuah of any or there is something else, but not over here. And therefore, what are you going to do? Pay the entire give the 20 bricks to who? To Reuven. And here, even Rav Nachman would admit, again, if Rav Nachman would, in other words, yeah, funnily enough, if you follow Rav Nachman, it's better to say I don't know about everything rather than say I don't know about half. Yeah? Ask your turn, Ravani, what to do. I'm joking, yeah. In other words, yeah, if I came and I said, according to Rav Nachman, which is not halacha, by the way, if I said all 20 are mine, and you say, well, all 20 I don't know, maybe mine, maybe yours, according to Rav Nachman, we would split. He doesn't believe in Bava V'Shema. He doesn't believe in the assertive voice being more correct. Yeah. But if I said 20 are mine, and you said 10 are mine, the other side, and 10 are maybe, because you owe shvuah, midoraisa, that puts you in a much lower place, and then all 20 will come to me. Why? 10, you admit, belong to me. You admit. The other 10, because of this whole mess with the shvuah that cannot be given, will also go to me. And all 20, that's the case of our Mishnah. All 20 bricks go to the one who claims that they're his, either because of Bori V'Shema, according to Rav Yehuda and Rav Huna, or Rav Nachman and Rav Yochanan, is because in the case of half shvuah. But at the end of the day, everyone would agree that all 20 bricks would go to the one who claims certainly that they're his. Okay. Now, yeah, I'd like to give a small thing about Sukkot. So I don't know if I have to use the whiteboard or not, but if we do, we will. If not. Let's continue for now. The very, very, very end of the Mishnah told us that, remember the numbers, we just invented, it's not me who invented the numbers, by the way. I saw this in a sefer called Chavrusa. It's very, very good in explaining those technical points, the math. Yeah. So now, let's say there were 200 bricks in total. Okay. Just imagine 100 bricks survived that fall and 100 didn't, they're broken. Okay. These are the numbers. What about the 20? Let's say, for reasons we just mentioned half a minute ago, 20 bricks were assertively taken by Reuven with the support of BSD. He didn't take the law into his hands. He knew the 20 are his. The other side was the Shema or Chayiv Shvua. 20 go to who? To Reuven, who knows what he's talking about. And Shimon, the wishy-washy guy, doesn't get those 20. What happens to the rest? Now we have 80 of other shlemus, 80 good intact ones, and another 100 broken ones, right? Now, Oilas Lo Min HaCheshbon means what? Now we have to recalculate everything and calculate everything taking into account that the 20 whole ones were given to Reuven. What does it mean? Sava Rove Lamemar. Rove wanted to say, Lefi Cheshbon Shvuros. Lefi Cheshbon Shvuros means the other guy, Shimon, will get more broken ones. He'll get more broken ones. Why? The idea is as follows. I am Reuven. I'm wearing two hats now legally. It may sound unfair, but listen carefully till the end. I am be'etzem deserve. Let's say it's the houses were equal. Yeah, he has 3 meters over 5, and he has 3 over 5. Same thing. Okay, let's not get messed up over there. Yeah, and let's say there are exactly 200 bricks, 100 intact, 100 broken. Very nice. I'm wearing two hats now. Yeah, generally speaking, we should go half-half, right? Let's say they don't know exactly. There's no idea of which fell, right? It didn't fall this way, that way. It was morning time. Nobody knows what happened. Oh, very nice. I'm just describing the case. Now, 20 bricks. No, I deserve 50 out of the 100 bricks because what? I'm half-half. Plus, I deserve 20 because I know that the 20 are mine. In other words, the fact that the guy who's certain gains something, you're not going to say he'll get 20 and then 30 of the other. How many shlemis are left after 20? 80. I'm not going to say now, Mr. Reuven, oh, you got to 20, now you should get 30, to make it to 50, and Shimon 50. Mapitom, then I didn't gain anything. The whole idea is what? The whole idea is that he gains something by the fact that he knows he's certain. As Rava continues, let me continue for a second, Alma, that is to say, the other guy who says, I don't know, he lost. So how are we going to split it now? Oh, so we should split it like that. Reuven, would get 50 whole ones plus 20. Yeah, and now the other guy will get 30. And now what about the broken ones? The broken ones, the other guy, Shimon, will get 70 to make it to 100, and Reuven will get 30. Think about it. We don't need the whiteboard. You guys are math geniuses, right? Very good. You get it? There, it's very easy. Yeah. 20 are not to be touched. 50 whole ones, I maintain my right, because otherwise what did I gain? I'm supposed to gain something extra by being certain. You're going to get 30, Shimon, and with I should be 50-50 in total. So the Shvuras, Shimon will get another 70 to make it to 100, and Reuven, will only get 30. Amar Abai. So it sounds very, very nice. But Abai comes with the opposite svara. Amar Abai, Adarabim. I would say the other way around. Although in general it's true that Bori v'Shema Bori Odif, according to some, Horeyat Fei. This guy who recognized the 20 and he didn't recognize the other ones is worse. Why? Hani Reat Fei. Why? Midahani Yoda, because he recognized only these 20, right? Was he certain about the other ones? No. Good. Tfei lo yoda. He didn't know the other 80, right? Too late, that he shouldn't get any more of the whole ones. Ve'idach kula da'ichninu. Could be that all the other 80 belong to the other one. Meaning, what's Shimon's story? Shimon doesn't know anything. Shimon is a spaceship. He's shakur learning the whole day, Baruch Hashem, hopefully not in Shtusim. Shimon doesn't know how the brooks in his house look like exactly. Shimon admits, I don't know. I'm a Tomim, I don't know. So he doesn't know. Say there. Reuven, who claims to be much more of a chacham, only recognized 20, which accentuates, much more the fact that he did not recognize the other 80, right? Yeah. So therefore, he should not have that advantage, right? He's very certain about the 20, Yeah, against the backdrop of him being so certain about those 20, the fact that the other 80 goes like, yeah, makes it much worse. If I'm a general, out of it, spaceman, trader. But Reuven, who knows this stuff, he knows only 20, and the other ones makes it worse. Elo Omer Abai. Therefore, Abai changes and says no, and Abai is right here. Lefi cheshbon shleimos. No. At the end of the day, for every 20 bricks that Reuven took, Shimon would take also whole bricks, intact bricks. Yeah? And they'll have 50-50 in proportion of the shleimus and the shvuras, the whole ones and the broken ones. But that obviously brings us to a huge question. If so, so what did he gain? Even Abai has to admit that Bori V'Shem Bori Odif means the Bori guy gained something. The Reish already told me that if nobody knows anything, whole mess, whole chaos, nobody knows anything, no fall, no then what? Then it's split half in everything or proportion, right? But if you, according to you, Abaye, the third case, one guy's so certain, so he gained something. He didn't gain anything, according to Abaye, because at the end of the day, right, for every whole brick that you take, he'll also take a whole brick, and also by the broken one. So what did Mr. Vadai gain over Bari, right? What's going on? Answers the Gemara. He does gain quality. Quantity is not everything, but quality. What's the quality? Which means some of the bricks are better quality than the others. Yeah? I mean, we're not splitting here the value, which is interesting. Otherwise, we would. Oh, let's say some of the bricks are nice. For example, Melabna Ravcha, they're wider and more like Melben is a rectangle. The more rectangle shape, they're nicer, better, they're bigger, yeah? Or Tina de Me'abda, the tin, the not cement, what are the bricks made out of? Whatever, the material of the cement made for different things is ubad. It's of higher quality. Oh, so let's say there's a qualitative difference here. That's a difference, which means if let's say there are 50 top of the notch, very good bricks and 50 so-so bricks, and they're both intact, if I'm not certain, he's not certain, we come to the site like children in the kindergarten not knowing, then Beis Din would say what? You take 50% of the high quality, and you take 50% of high quality and also low quality. Now that the guy is certain, he does gain one thing. Because he knows that those items, let's say those 20 bricks are the cream of the crop of the best one, the best of Spain and Italy, and very nicely crafted. I saw you. Yeah, then he'll take those 20 because we focus when it comes to those 20. He knows these top-notch bricks are his. He'll take them because the other one says, I don't know. The other 80, they are going, and the other person will get other whole bricks against the, corresponding to the ones that the first one got, but of lower quality. Because at the end of the day, we try to, on one hand, say Boli Odif. On the other hand, the Boli guy has a shortcoming here for not knowing what happens with the rest. So we balance it. The mitzad, the numbers, they both take the same. Mitzad, the quality, we balance it, and we say the quality, if he knew for sure that those high quality ones are his, we believe him locally focused on this one, and he'll take the high quality. And Shimon will take against it other intact ones, but possibly of lower quality. That's the answer according to Abaye. Yes, I'm listening. Thank you very much, and wishing a very good Pesach to everyone who watches us on YouTube channel. Excuse me, Sukkos. I have a Sukkos chach over my head during the video, and I'm saying Pesach. I'm sorry. But Pesach and Sukkos are connected. Tesvav, and we have a good Sukkos. Thank you. And we should always be under Hashem's shadow, in Hashem's shade. Thank you, and Atzlocho. Thank you to everyone who watches us also in Torah anytime. Thank you, Atzlocho, and a good Yom Tov.